from the Lakeside Newsroom of the Henrico Citizen, your hometown news source since 2001. This is the Henrico News Minute with publisher Tom Lapis.
Some discouraging unemployment numbers from Henrico County and a $600 million bond referendum that could be coming our way later next year. We'll have details about those stories and more in today's Henrico News Minute. It's Tuesday, January 19th, 2021, and it's brought to you today by Henrico County.
And now for the news.
Henrico County officials are eyeing a November 2022 bond referendum that could involve infrastructure projects totaling as much as $600 million. That's what they told the Henrico Board of Supervisors during the first day of its two-day retreat on Friday at Richmond Raceway. The county's next referendum has just been a matter of time for several years now, as major project needs have piled up in transportation, education, and elsewhere without any clear funding sources. Officials have identified more than $3 billion in infrastructure needs during the next 10 years, more than $2 billion of which are public works projects related to transportation and mobility. That's according to Deputy County Manager for Community Services, Brandon Hinton. The county is just finishing up its 2016 bond referendum. It's got two projects left, the construction of fire stations 20 and 23. Recent bond referendums in Henrico have included projects for education, public safety, parks and recreation, roads, and libraries. The next one is likely to as well, but it also appears certain to include significant funding for drainage and stormwater issues throughout the county. That's something that supervisors agreed Friday is a critical need.
Drainage is the next constituent issue that is far-reaching across our county that folks just need help with. And if we ignore it, shame on us decades from now, because it's going to get worse. So to include that in there, that is a far-reaching, overarching issue across every corner of this county.
That was Board Chairman Dan Schmidt. He's the Brooklyn District Supervisor. Now, there's no word yet on what projects specifically might be included in the bond referendum, though a number are under consideration. That's something that county officials will have to figure out during the coming months. Their aim is to have a package put together by about this time next year at the latest. Now, the 2016 bond referendum totaled about $419 million, but Henrico Finance Director Megan Coates said that a referendum next fall between $500 and $600 million would represent the next logical step in the county's economic growth and would permit a level of debt that should be more than manageable. The county's current debt as a percentage of overall operating costs is less than 8%. Other localities sometimes go as high as 12 or 15%, she said. In the past year, the county has sold several batches of bonds at interest rates of 1.5% or 2%, but the conservative models that Coates and her team are using to determine how much debt the county might be able to take on in the next referendum assume a 4% interest. Just to be cautious, she said. You can read much more about this topic from the board's retreat later today on henricocitizen.com by clicking under News and then Government. Some discouraging news on the unemployment front in Henrico, as first-time unemployment filings during the most recent period jumped to a level not seen since late July, according to the Virginia Employment Commission. A total of 587 Henrico citizens filed initial claims during the week that ended January 9th. That's an increase of 59% from the previous week and the county's highest total since 666 people filed such claims during the week that ended August 1st. Now, Henrico was 11th in the state in the most initial filers during the most recent week, just one person behind Chesterfield. Statewide, initial claims were up by about 44%, according to the VEC. In Henrico, the number of people who continued to file unemployment claims after previous initial filings dipped slightly from a little more than 2,100 to 2,050. That ranked the county 7th in the state in that category. Yesterday, Henrico reported a total of 286 new COVID-19 cases. That was its third most in a single day ever, following the two highest days on Saturday and Sunday. In total, 932 cases have been reported the past 3 days. The county didn't have a single day with more than 180 cases all of last year. There were also 8 new virus-related hospitalizations reported in the county on Monday, increasing the average daily number of new hospitalizations during the past week among county residents to 4. Now, Henrico's 7-day positivity percentage fell to 11.5% among PCR testing encounters and down to 9.2% among rapid testing encounters for the week that ended January 14th. But those metrics lag several days behind the current day as a way to allow for as much data to be gathered about tests and results as possible, so they don't take into consideration the positive cases from the past 3 days. Now, overall, Henrico is averaging just more than 2,500 PCR and rapid tests a day as of January 14th. That was about 400 more than it had been averaging a week earlier. Henrico Commonwealth's attorney Shannon, who last year briefly considered a run for the Democratic nomination to serve as Virginia's Attorney General, Sunday night endorsed incumbent Democrat Mark Herring for re-election to the seat. In announcing her support, Taylor cited Herring's ongoing work to protect and expand Virginia's civil rights, among other topics. She said, quote, "I thought about running for Attorney General myself because Mark showed us how the office can be a powerful force for good, and right now the office is in good hands," end quote. Herring is facing Democratic delegate Jay Jones, who represents Norfolk's 89th district, in the party's primary later this summer. Today's Henrico News Minute is brought to you by Henrico County's COVID-19 Municipal Utility Relief Program. The program provides assistance for delinquent bills between March 1st and December 30th of last year. You can visit henrico.us to learn more and to apply by January 22nd.